Hi guys, so Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, gave her State of the Union's address in Brussels today. So this is just the introductory part of the speech. The rest of the speech, I will upload parts of it later on. But I just want to comment a little bit on what she said today in her introduction. I'll leave a link in the video description to the original video without my commentary if you want to watch it without my commentary, of course. But let's hear what she had to say.
Their stories also reveal a lot about the state of our world and the state of our union. They show the power of humanity and the sense of mourning which will live long in our society. And they expose to us the fragility all around us. A virus 1,000 times smaller than a grain of sand exposed how delicate life can be. It laid bare the strains on our health systems and the limits of a model that values wealth above well-being.
This is very interesting. It's interesting to hear a political leader say this. Many politicians around the world are ignoring this fact that up to now we have built our economies and our healthcare systems on finance, on profit over well-being. And I think this pandemic has, and I hope it has, changed our view of that.
It brought into sharper focus the planetary fragility that we see every day through melting glaciers, burning forests, and now through global pandemics. It changed the way we behave and communicate, keeping our arms at length and our faces behind masks. It showed us just how fragile our community of values really is, and how quickly it can be called into questions around the world and even here in our union.
So just a few things to say about that. Yes, of course, the fact that the idea that we can continue as normal, burning fossil fuels, destroying the environment, there are consequences to that. And this pandemic is, you know, I don't know if it's related to that directly, but we are risking greater pandemics because of our actions surrounding our treatment of the world. So we need to change. We need to change direction completely. Also, the aspect of how we have changed socially because of this pandemic. And I regret a lot of these changes. You know, we used to be able to shake hands with people. We used to be able to hug. This has been put on hold. Will it return? I hope it will. Look at schools, what's happening in schools. Children are not able to play together. Children are not able to even share a pen or a pencil with each other because of the risk of the spread. We're all of us as a community, all of us as a world, as a people, we have to work together here. And I think this is the core message of von der Leyen's speech, that unity is what will see us through.
But people want to move out of this corona world, out of this fragility, out of this uncertainty. They are ready for change, and they are ready to move on. And this is the moment for Europe, the moment for Europe to lead the way from this fragility towards a new vitality. And that is what I want to talk about today. Honorable members, I say this because in the last month, we have rediscovered the value of what we hold in common. As individuals, we have all sacrificed a piece of our personal liberty for the safety of others. And as a union, we all shared a part of our sovereignty for the common good. We turned fear and division between member states into confidence in our union. We showed that it is possible and what is possible when we trust each other and we trust the European institutions. And with all of that, we choose to not only repair and recover for the here and now, but to shape a better world, a better way of living for the world of tomorrow. And this is Next Generation EU. This is our opportunity to make change happen by design and not by disaster or by diktat from others in the world.
I don't know if that was, that was a reference to the United States or to Boris Johnson.
To emerge stronger by creating opportunities for the world of tomorrow and not just building contingencies for the world of yesterday.
And this is very, very important. That we're not just, oh, here's a problem, let's try and fix the problem and move on. No, we need to look at society in a new way. We need to look at our economies in a new way. We need to approach things from a completely different angle. I hope that this pandemic, we can get something good out of this pandemic. We can understand that we need to work together and we need to provide people with the means to live. And once again, I'm down the road of a UBI. It's my it's my response. It's my silver bullet to most problems. But I think this is an opportunity to create a strong Europe, a united Europe. Populist parties are trying to tear Europe apart. We have seen how if we cooperate, we can be strong and we can overcome whatever challenges we have to face.
We have everything we need to make this happen. We have shaken off the old excuses and home comforts. We have the vision. We have a plan. We have the investment. It is now time to get to work. This morning, I've sent a letter of intent to President Sassoli and Chancellor Merkel on behalf of the German presidency, outlining the Commission's plan for the year ahead. I will not present every initiative today, but I want to touch on what our union must focus on in the next 12 months. Honourable members, the people of Europe are still suffering. It is a period of profound anxiety for millions who are concerned about the health of their families, the future of their jobs, or simply getting through till the end of the month. The pandemic and the uncertainty that goes with it is not over, and the recovery is still in its early stage. So our first priority is to pull each other through this and to be there for those that need it.
Something that really hit me during the pandemic was here in Italy. The epicenter was in Bergamo, which is a city in northern Italy. You've probably heard about it. And the hospitals in Bergamo were reaching capacity, also over capacity, with new cases, people coming in. And I remember, and it really struck me, how the German Air Force and the German government sent aircraft over to Germany, over to Bergamo, to take people from there to German hospitals to treat those patients. Now, there was no requirement on Germany to do this. Germany could have easily said, and I remember at the time I said, this, Germany is putting itself at risk because it's looking out for another country, another member state. There was no benefit for Germany in doing this. actually there was a negative for Germany for doing this, because it was putting its military personnel, it was putting its medical staff, and it was putting its country at risk, because, you know, these patients were infected. But the solidarity that I saw there from Germany was moving. Once again, Germany didn't benefit in any way. And also there was, you know, the economic cost of doing this, but they were willing to do it. They sent military aircraft to Bergamo to pick up patients. And I think they also did it for France as well. When France was having some spikes, excuse me, they were having some cases and problematic cases, and Germany stepped in and airlifted people out of those areas and treated them in hospitals in Germany. That was a demonstration of solidarity and how important it is that we work together.
And thanks to our unique social market economy, Europe can do just that. It is above all a human economy that protects us against the great risks of life, illness, ill fortune, unemployment, and poverty. It offers stability and helps us better absorb shocks. It creates opportunities and prosperity by promoting innovation, growth, and fair competition. Never before has that enduring promise of protection, stability, and opportunity been more important than it is today. Allow me to explain why. First, Europe must continue to protect lives and livelihoods. This is all the more important in the middle of a pandemic that shows no sign of running out of steam or intensity. We know.
You have to compare this speech with the likes of Donald Trump in the United States or Boris Johnson, where she seems more realistic. She's more a realist. Look, this pandemic is not running out of steam. It's moving along. We're tackling it, but it's not over yet, and we have to support people. Compare this with Donald Trump in the United States, who's saying, you know, it's over, let's get back to work, send people back to work. Boris Johnson, in a way, not directly saying this, but his policies are pushing people back into work. The European Union's response instead is, we need to understand that there is a pandemic still running. It's still it's pretty much still damaging our societies. We need to be there for the people.
How quickly numbers can spiral out of control. So we must continue to handle this pandemic with extreme care, responsibility, and unity. In the last 6 months, our health systems and workers have produced miracles. Every country has worked to do its best for its citizens, and Europe has done more together than ever before. When the member states closed borders, we created green lanes for goods. When more than 600,000 European citizens were stranded all over the world, the EU brought them back home. When some countries introduced export bans for critical medical goods, we stopped that and ensured that critical medical goods should go where it was needed.
And this was very important because countries were saying, oh, well, look, we want to protect our own at the expense of others. And the European Union said, no, you can't do that. There was a risk that, I think there really was a risk during the early stage of the pandemic that countries would close borders, countries would isolate themselves. And then we would see a rise in unsavory characters taking control of these societies. Fortunately, we seem to have avoided that, at least for the moment.
We worked with the European industry to increase the production of masks, of gloves, of tests, of ventilators.
And this is very important as well, because the European Union at the very beginning of this, had the foresight to say, okay, back in February, I think it was, they said, we need to start, before there was a massive number of cases, they said they listened to their scientists. The scientists were saying, look, in China, there is this pandemic. We should be prepared for it. And the European Union's response was, okay, what do you want us to do? Unfortunately, in the United States, the response was, let's ignore it. And the response from Boris Johnson's government was, I need to go on holiday, was to ignore it as well and hope that it goes away. Or to say, well, actually, we have all these stockpiles for Brexit. We don't want to touch them.
Our civil protection mechanism ensured that doctors from Romania could treat patients in Italy, or that Latvia could send masks to its Baltic neighbors. And we achieved all that without having full competencies. So for me, it is crystal clear. We need to build a stronger European health union. It is time to do that.
I couldn't agree more. I hope this will facilitate greater union, because this pandemic has demonstrated that we have to work together. And when we do work together, we can defend our citizens. We can help our citizens overcome this. Now, this is the end of the speech here at the beginning. She goes on to talk about these issues in more detail. So during the day, I'll try and do a response to these comments. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about this introductory speech. Once again, I'll leave a link to the original video in the video description, so you can watch it yourself without my comments. But I would like to hear your comments on what you've heard today. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?